poignant memoir. This is a poignant memoir. This is a poignant memoir. The first one is the hit. There's thunder rumbling. What the heck? It's summer. Oh, thunder and lightning also, very nice. Hello people, this is Sonali, the Melodramatic Bookworm. If you've been here before, welcome back, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to the Melodramatic Bookworm family. I'm here today with another book haul. In this book haul, you will see all the books that I've bought since the last book haul, which was in February 2021. And I think that it's impressive that in these whatever few months there are, I've had only 30-ish books. Only. And if I'm thinking that 30 is a very good number, maybe I'm right, because there have been days when I've bought 54 books or 68 books. That was the first June Jumbo book haul, which was way back in June 2018. Since those days, we've come a long way, and we have been actually actively reading the books on our TBR, but also buying books. So maybe we are not that far off. But in this set of books, there are a few books that I have already read. So I think I'm going to take that as a win for myself, because that's what I need. This video is as much for me as it is for you, just to remind me that beta son, you've bought all of these books and you've got to read them. So in this video, in this book haul, you will see paperbacks. I think there are a couple of hardcovers as well, yes, and then there are ebooks and a bunch of audiobooks, be it ALCs or books that I've bought from Audible, etc, etc, etc. And if I count the books that I've bought from Audible, I think the number comes up to 335. I was about to say 315. I'm like, what? No, that's not possible. But I think I've rambled on for long enough. So without any further ado, let's dive right into this book haul, and let me share with you all the books that I have gotten right from mid-February 2021 to mid-May 2021. That's 4 months. I'm proud of myself. So what I usually do in book hauls and wrap-ups also is that the books that I bought earliest, that will come first. So it's like chronological order. The most recent purchases will come towards the end. But this first set of books I bought in April, but I want to mention them first because they were recommended to me by my channel members, and I want to say a big thank you to all the channel members, whoever participated in this and whoever recommended these books. And that reminds me, if you like my content and you would also like to support me monetarily, then please do consider becoming a channel member. The link to join is in the description box below. Otherwise, you can also go to my channel page and click the join button to become a channel member. I hold member exclusive live streams on every Friday, and in one of these live streams I asked my channel members to recommend books to me which I really wanted to buy, and they came through with flying colors, and they recommended me 4 books. And there's another book also which I will talk about later, which another subscriber recommended to me in another live stream, and she has been recommending it for a long time. But the books that my channel members recommended to me were these. I'll take you through these one by one. The first one is Loveless by Alice Oseman. I love Alice Oseman's writing. I read Radio Silence along with my book club last year, and I absolutely loved it. All of us loved it. And when Ayushi said read Loveless by Alice Oseman, I was like, yes ma'am, because Ayushi and we have similar thoughts about books. That happened very recently as well about Star Daughter, and both of us are like, what? So when Ayushi said this is a good book to get into, you should read it, it's a must read, and I'm like, okay. And everybody knows that I love going into a book blind. Let me read the blurb out for you, and this will be the first time that I'm reading it. Georgia has never been in love, never kissed anyone, never even had a crush. But as a fanfic obsessed romantic, she's sure she'll find a person one day. As she starts university, Georgia makes a plan to find love. But when her actions wreak havoc among her friends, she questions why romance seems so easy for other people, yet not for her. With new terms thrown at her, asexual, aromantic, Georgia is more uncertain about her feelings than ever. Is she destined to remain loveless, or has she been looking for the wrong thing all along? And then 2 more books that were recommended to me by one of my channel members. The first one is a book that she has been recommending for a long time, and she has been asking me to get it and read it. So I was like, yes, I know what I'm buying. I know one of the books that I'm buying, and that is Daughters of the Sun by Ira Mukhoti. This is an account of the empresses, queens and begums of the Mughal Empire. This is non-fiction, and I have been on this splurge where I've been buying non-fiction books left, right and center, and to read this non-fiction about history is going to be eye-opening, it feels like. And then another book that she recommended is The Music Room by Namita Devi Dayal. I will read out the blurb to you if there's anything here. I think this is a memoir of sorts. When Namita is 10, her mother takes her to Dhondutai, a respected music teacher from the Jaipur Gharana. Dhondutai's antecedents are rich. She is the only remaining student of the legendary Alladia Khan, the founder of the Gharana and of its most famous singer, the tempestuous Kesarbai Kerkar. Namita begins to learn singing from Dhondutai, at first reluctantly and then as the years pass with growing passion. Dhondutai sees in her a second Kesar. But does Namita have the dedication to give herself up completely to music, or will there always be too many late nights and cigarettes? Okay, so Namita Devi Dayal is a journalist with the Times of India and co-director of the Times Lit Fest. Okay, I didn't know that. She is a trained Indian classical singer. Very nice. And she has written 2 other books, it seems. Whenever a book has such a color, this blue, it feels very pleasing to me, very soothing. The next book is a book that all my channel members agreed upon that I should buy it and I should read it, and that is Baluta by Daya Pawar. He wrote it in Marathi and it was translated into English by Jerry Pinto, and we all know Jerry Pinto is a great writer. His translation of Cobalt Blue is simply amazing, and this is an autobiography and it displays the caste system and its cruelties in full force. And I think especially in this time and age, this is an important book and I need to start reading this soon. This was first published in 1978 in Marathi. Baluta causes storm not just with its unvarnished depiction of the pervasive cruelty of the caste system, but also the extraordinary candor with which Daya Pawar wrote about himself and his family, his community and Dalit politics of his time. Set in rural Maharashtra in the Maharwada, the area designated in each village for the Mahars so that they would not pollute the other residents. And in Mumbai of the 40s and 50s, its chawls, slums, brothels and gambling dens where the poor and the outcast found ways to make a life. Baluta is a triumph of storytelling, social commentary and self-reflection. The next book is one that another of my subscribers, Neetu, recommended to me, and she has been recommending it to me for a while. So I thought, I think it's time I took her recommendation and I got the book and tried reading it. Oh my god, I didn't see this. Okay, let me show you the book. The book is Daughters of Charchinar by Almas Hussain. I'm hoping that I have pronounced that right. This is the story of 2 breathtakingly beautiful twins who are being kept safe, who are being hidden by their slain mother's relatives from the whole male gaze. And when their father comes back to take them, so he kidnaps one of the twins and all of that. This talks about this whole harrowing tale of rape and how it is seen as a punishment and not as something to be reviled, and how men take it upon themselves to hand out these punishments because it's repayment for what they have done or what sins they have committed. And I want to say that I love the blurb of this book, and maybe I do, but this sounds super intense and super harrowing as well. So I think I'm going to have to be very careful when I get into this book. So now on to chronology. So the first book that I bought after that, my previous book haul, the first book haul of 2021, was Atomic Habits by James Clear. I've been hearing so many good things about this book, and I know that I have some habits which I need to change and I need to transform them into something that will be beneficial to me instead of, chipping away at my brain and at my physical health. So I thought investing in this and reading this would be a good idea, and I haven't read it since then. But I know I need to, and I will get to reading this soon, hopefully. People think when you want to change your life, you need to think big. But world-renowned habits expert James Clear has discovered another way. He knows that real change comes from the compound effect of hundreds of small decisions. Doing 2 push-ups a day, waking up 5 minutes earlier, or reading just one more page. He calls them atomic habits. Makes so much sense, man. In this groundbreaking book, Clear reveals exactly how these minuscule changes, I can never pronounce minuscule, can grow into such life-altering outcomes. He uncovers a handful of simple life hacks, the forgotten art of habit stacking, the unexpected power of the 2-minute rule, or the trick to entering the Goldilocks zone, and delves into cutting-edge psychology and neuroscience to explain why they matter. Along the way, he tells inspiring stories of Olympic gold medalists, leading CEOs, and distinguished scientists who have used the science of tiny habits to stay productive, motivated, and happy. I don't want to become a CEO or anything, but I want to become productive, motivated, and happy and stay that way. Next was a review copy that was sent to me by Pan Macmillan India, and I'm so happy and so thankful that they sent it to me. Thank you, Pan Macmillan India. And that book is Brown Baby by Nikesh Shukla. This is a book that is great. It's a great memoir of race and gender and about home and finding our own place in the world. Nikesh Shukla writes this memoir for his, directed at his older daughter but meant for both of his daughters. He is married to a white woman, so having mixed race kids who are trying to find their way in the world and trying to teach them the right thing and educating himself in the process, that was what Nikesh Shukla spoke about in this book, and I loved it. It was one of my favorite reads of, did I read it in April? Yes, I read it in April. It was one of my favorite reads of April. Next up is a physical copy of an ebook that I already have, and that book is I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. This is a poignant memoir of Maya Angelou as a little girl and how her relationship with her brother and her immediate surroundings and with the world in general kept changing, especially since the attitude towards black people and black girls especially was so horrific during those times. I've already spoken about this in a subscriber pick, so if you'd like to go check that out, link here as well as in the description box below. Next is a Sophie Kinsella book which released in 2020, and that book is Love Your Life. And I'm so happy to have a physical copy of a Sophie Kinsella book because her books are amazing. She's one of my favorite writers of all time. Her books are funny, they are awkward, the characters are awkward, the main characters are always doing something or the other, they are fumbling, they are bumbling, but it also gives you a lot of life lessons as you go through it if you look closely enough, and I love that about her writing, about her stories. So this is something that I really want to pick up as soon as possible, but we don't know when that's going to happen, so that's okay, I think. So this is the story of Eva, who is sick of online dating. She's always trusted her own instincts over an algorithm anyway, and she wants a break from it all. So when she signs up to a semi-silent anonymous writing retreat in glorious Italy, love is the last thing on her mind. So we know what's going to happen now. Until she meets a handsome stranger. All she knows is that he's funny, he's kind, and she soon learns he's great in bed. He's equally smitten, and after an intoxicating whirlwind affair, they pledge their love without even knowing each other's real names. But when they return home, reality hits. They're both driven mad by each other's weird quirks and annoying habits, from his eccentric naked sauna-loving family to her terribly behaved, shirt-shredding dog, Harold. As disaster follows disaster, it seems that while they love each other, they just can't love each other's lives. Can they overcome their differences to find one life together? Can they? I have a feeling they can. Okay, next up is the 5th in a series. Am I right? Yes. It's a 5th in the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series, and that book is The Conference of the Birds by Ransom Riggs. And I don't want to say anything about this book because I have read only the first book, and even if I had read the other 3 books, then I wouldn't have said anything else because this is the 5th and I don't want to spoil and all of that. But these books have such creepy covers. Just look at this. And I know why, but the story isn't as creepy as the covers make them out to be. Next is The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. This is a murder mystery of sorts, and this happens among friends. I think this is in a remote Scottish hunting lodge. Old friends gather for New Year. The beautiful one, the golden couple, the volatile one, the new parents, the quiet one, the city boy, the outsider, the victim. Not an accident, a murder among friends. And I've had the guest list for a long time and I've been really wanting to read it, but I never got around to reading it. I bought this also in hope that now that I have 2 of her books, maybe I will read it. That doesn't make sense at all, but hope. Next is Club You to Death by Anuja Chauhan. This was one of my most anticipated reads of 2021 and it clubbed me. Honestly, it wasn't bad. I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars, but this murder mystery, it was sort of the thing where it was very underwhelming. Like, there's a lot of Anuja Chauhan's wit and quirky writing in there, but then again, there's nothing more than that. And I'm sitting there going like, okay, this is going very well, this is going very well, and when it came to the end, I was like, oh shit. But yes, this is a disappointing book for me personally, even though I gave it 3.5, and 3.5 isn't bad, but this is disappointing because I had hopes from it. And what's the lesson that we learn from there? Don't have so many expectations and hopes from any book for that matter. Any book. My last purchase of February was Know My Name by Chanel Miller, and this is comes highly recommended by Smriti from Sant Reads. This is a non-fiction. Chanel Miller was sexually assaulted on the Stanford campus, and Brock Turner, who assaulted her, was let off with a light sentencing, and there was a whole hue and cry across the world because people were obviously very outraged that he committed such a huge crime and he wasn't sentenced at all. And what the blurb says about this book is that it's an intimate, profoundly moving memoir that exposes a patriarchal culture. It's very obvious that the culture is patriarchal, and with the way men are being let off the hook left, right and center, biased to protect perpetrators, a criminal justice system designed to fail the most vulnerable, and ultimately shines with the courage required to move through suffering and live a full and beautiful life. Entwining pain, resilience and humor, this breathtaking memoir will stand as a modern classic. Know My Name is a gut punch, Washington Post says. All those a-holes who think that the perpetrators, the men who have brighter futures and they need to be treated kindly, when the victims are there asking them for hope and asking them for some kind of justice, are those kind of assholes now who enable these kind of perpetrators. Those need gut punching and a lot more punching. Now we come to the books that I bought in March, and the first one that I bought is also one of my most anticipated books of 2021, and I know for a fact that it will not disappoint me even though I haven't read it, because the author is Nikita Gill and the book is Where Hope Comes From, and this is a book of poetry, and I am so looking forward to reading this. I wanted so many times to pick this book up, but given how the situation was over the past few weeks, I was like, I need a clear mind in order to be able to focus on this book properly. So I've been holding out on this, but I will read it soon. Definitely one of my favorite authors of all time. Next are two ALCs that I received from Libro FM. First is How Beautiful We Were by Imbolo Mbu. This is one of my most anticipated releases of 2021. So when I saw it on Libro FM's ALC list, I jumped with joy and I immediately ordered it. We should have known the end was near. So begins Imbolo Mbu's powerful second novel, How Beautiful We Were. Set in the fictional African village of Kosawa, it tells the story of a people living in fear amidst environmental degradation wrought by an American oil company. Pipeline spills have rendered farmlands infertile. Children are dying from drinking toxic water. Promises of cleanup and financial reparations to the villagers are made and ignored. The country's government, led by a brazen dictator, exists to serve its own interest. Left with few choices, the people of Kosawa decide to fight back. Their struggle would last for decades and come at a steep price. Told through the perspective of a generation of children and the family of a girl named Tula, who grows up to become a revolutionary, How Beautiful We Were is a masterful exploration of what happens when the reckless drive for profit, coupled with the ghost of colonialism, comes up against one community's determination to hold on to its ancestral land and a young woman's willingness to sacrifice everything for the sake of her people's freedom. This sounded intense then, and it sounds intense now as well, because it is. And the reason why I am so excited about this is it talks about environmental issues as well, environmental degradation and all of the sort, and I am super intrigued to get into it. And the second ALC was Lost in the Neverwoods by Aidan Thomas. We all know Aidan Thomas's Symmetry Boys was one of the most talked about, I think, YA books of last year, and to see that this book was available on Libro FM as an ALC, I jumped at the chance. Okay, so this is about children going missing in the small coastal town of Astoria. It's been 5 years since Wendy and her two brothers went missing in the woods. But when the town's children start to disappear, the questions surrounding her brother's mysterious circumstances are brought back into light. Attempting to flee her past, Wendy almost runs over an unconscious boy lying in the middle of the road and gets pulled into the mystery haunting the town. Peter, a boy she thought lived only in her stories, claims that if they don't do something, the missing children will meet the same fate as her brothers. In order to find them and rescue the missing kids, Wendy must confront what's waiting for her in the woods. Oh. I was so excited for this, and it's only just now that I'm going through Goodreads and there are a bunch of 2 stars and 3-star reviews, and I'm like, and someone even DNF'd it. And I'm like, oh shoot, that's a shame. But it's okay. I'm going to give it a try anyway. The next book that I bought was The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I loved The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, and I cried, and it warmed my heart, it hurt my heart, it hurt me to no end because of the story and how beautiful the writing was and how the characters felt things and all of that. And I couldn't not buy her newest release. This is a huge book, it feels like, both size wise and number of pages. It has 450 is huge only, but yeah, this is again historical fiction. This is set in Texas in 1934, and Elsa Martinelli has finally found the life she yearned for. A family, a home, and a farm on the Great Plains. But when drought threatens all that she and her community hold dear, Elsa's world is shattered to the winds. One of the darkest periods of the Great Depression, the Dust Bowl era, has arrived with a vengeance. Farmers are fighting to keep their land and their livelihoods as the crops are failing, the water is drying up, and dust threatens to bury them all. Fearful of the future, when Elsa wakes to find her husband has fled, she is forced to make the most agonizing decision of her life. Fight for the land she loves or take her beloved children, Loretta and Ant, west to California in search of a better life. Next is a book that was sent to me by Bloomsbury India. A big thank you to Bloomsbury for sending me this book, because I feel like I'm going to really find it useful. And that book is Everyday Superfoods by Dr. Nandita Iyer. And this is something that I really want to read and implement in my daily life, because like I said, Atomic Habits, this is also something that I really need. Maybe I will find something that will make me healthier in a lot of ways. And to see the power that everyday foods, like things that you can find in your house without having to go and look for them in the markets, to see the power that they hold and to implement them in my real life, that's going to be a fun thing to do and easy also. And for that, once again, a big thank you to Bloomsbury India. Now we come to the books that I got in April, and the first 2 books are ALCs, which Libro FM kindly sent over to me. It allowed me to download, and I'm super excited to listen to it. The first one is The Hill We Climb by Amanda Gorman and Oprah Winfrey. This is I think a 1-hour audiobook about the speech that Amanda Gorman gave at, I think, the president's inauguration or something, and I didn't listen to it at the time, but now that it's on audiobook, I can listen to it anytime. So that's something that I am excited for, and I've heard that it's very powerful as well, so a win-win. And the second one is Troy by Stephen Fry, and Stephen Fry is an amazing narrator. He knows how to make a text, how to make a story engaging, and if he's telling me about the Trojan War, Troy, etc, 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 then I will sit and listen very well like a good student. This is also one that I'm super excited about. Okay, so the next few books I've already spoken about. Channel members recommended them to me. Daughters of the Sun, The Music Room, Baluta, Loveless. Yeah, Daughters of Charchinar I bought in May. So the next book that I got was sent to me again by Bloomsbury India, and that is All You Need Is Josh by Supriya Paul. This is edited by Supriya Paul. This is, I think, I'm not really sure what exactly this is. I think Josh Talks is sort of a podcast of sorts in which they share inspirational stories, and this is one such collection of those stories. Supriya Paul is the creator, the founder, and the CEO of Josh Talks, and I am really excited to read this, because in this time and age when everything looks dark and dull like the weather outside right now, to read something like this, to read something inspirational, is going to go a long way in keeping our morale up. So yes, this one. Again, thank you Bloomsbury India for this. Next is an audiobook that I bought on Audible, because I didn't need a reason to buy it. And the audiobook is called The House in the Cerulean Sea. I think you've heard of it. I might have spoken of it. Like, TJ Klune's writing is simply amazing, and I was hoping that the narrator for this would be Michael Leslie, who also narrated The Extraordinaries. His narration is on point. Michael Leslie has not narrated this one, but The House in the Cerulean Sea is one of my favorite books of all time. I read it last year and I lost my mind about it, and I kept talking to you about how warm, how wonderful, how lovely it makes you feel and everything of all that sort. And it's a book that I couldn't stop myself from getting an audiobook for. It's great and I can't wait to start reading it again. Now we come on to May, and I'll tell you why. The first book is a result of me reading Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom and losing my mind over it. And I have King of Scars with me, so it's obvious na what book I'm talking about. Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo. This is the second in the King of Scars duology, and I just wanted to buy it after reading Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, the Grishavas, and apparently this rounds off the Grishavas. So I'm like, it would be a terrible sin if I didn't have this book. So I'm going to go buy it, and now I can't wait to start reading King of Scars and this one. Next is another of my most anticipated releases of 2021, and that reminds me, even Rule of Wolves was on that list, and I hadn't been sure at the time that I could get my hands on it, but I did, so big yay for that. But the book that I'm now talking about is Whereabouts by Jhumpa Lahiri. Jhumpa Lahiri is a beautiful writer. This is something that I was really looking forward to. This follows an unnamed narrator in an unnamed city. Over the arc of 1 year, in the middle of her life's journey, she realizes that she has lost her way. I don't want to say anything about this, but I haven't lost my way. I promise. Next is The Roommate Risk by Talia Hibbert. I'll tell you why I bought this book. I've been reading the Brown Sisters series by Talia Hibbert, and I've been loving the books. Talia Hibbert's writing is funny, it's witty, it's humorous, it's sarcastic, and every single character is so good, so empathetic, so kind, and there are so many layers to them that I was like, I need to check out more of this author's works, and I went and bought The Roommate Risk by Talia Hibbert. And you know what the good thing is? It is that in her blurbs, Talia Hibbert writes that there's going to be happy ever after, and it's not a spoiler or something. It just goes to show that however your life goes, there's always a possibility, a hope that you will have a happy ending. So maybe going in that mindset is a good thing or something. At least that's what I took away from it. Okay, I'm going to power through this and make sure I finish this as soon as possible. So the next couple of books that I'm going to talk about are free Kindle ebooks that Westland Books, the publisher, was handing out, and I got them. The first one was There's Gunpowder in the Air by Manoranjan Byapari, and translated into English, I think, by Arunava Sinha. And I've had my eye on that book for a long time. I wanted to get a hardcover, but I thought I wouldn't mind a Kindle version as well. And now that Westland Books was like, here, take this book, read it. We are doing this for, this whole pandemic thing has shifted so much in so many people. So I was like, thank you very much. And the second book is Bombay Balkau. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that. I'm really sorry, but it's been written by Jane Borges, and I have no idea what it's about, except that it had been on my wish list for a long time. So when Westland said, take this free ebook, I was like, yes, thank you very much. I'm going to now read it, and it all ties in with my going blind into a book and hopefully enjoying it. And I've heard from a lot of people that it's a great book to get into, so it's a win-win thing here. Next is a book that was recommended to me by a dear friend, and she knows that my sleep cycle is all sorts of effed up. So she was like, why don't you read this book? I also have my eye on it, and that it's important to understand sleep before you try to fix it in all certain ways. So I was like, okay, and I ordered it. I ordered it just day before yesterday, and it still hasn't come yet. It's supposed to come home today. That book is Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker, and I'm really excited to get my hands on this book and to understand sleep, to understand my own sleep cycle and how I can change it and how I can fix it. and how I can make my days more productive and get sleep at the right time. Although if kids like this are screaming, how will my days be productive, especially as a YouTuber? And next are 5 ALCs. I won't talk much about them. One, because light is being a traitor. I don't know, the weather is being a traitor these days. Second, because I can't stand those kids screaming anymore. But the first one is the Anthropocene, reviewed by John Green. I have no idea what it is about, except for the fact that it's been written by John Green, the same man who wrote The Fault in Our Stars, which is one of my favorite books of all time. So I went and I was like, I jumped and I got it. So let's see. This is non-fiction. The Essays on a Human-Centered Planet. Very nice. That's all I need to know, and that's all anybody needs to know for that matter, I feel. But second is Punch Me Up to the Gods by Brian Broom and Yona Harvey. Third is The Secret Keeper of Jaipur by Alka Joshi. I don't know if this is a sequel to The Henna Artist, which I still haven't been able to read, by the way. Then there is On Juneteenth by Annette Gordon Reed, and The Wreckage of My Presence by Casey Wilson. These are the Libro FM ALCs that I got, and I cannot wait to start reading them. So those were all the books that I've bought since the last book haul, which was in Feb 2021. Which of these books did you like? Which ones did you not like? Which have you read? Which ones do you want to read? Which ones do you want to add to your wish list? Which ones do you want to buy? So what did you think of this video as a whole? What did you think of my haul as a whole? Do you like reading paperbacks, hardcovers, ebooks or audiobooks? Have you tried any other format? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you like this video, please like it and share it to spread the word. And if you like my content and would like to see more from me, don't forget to hit subscribe and click on the bell icon beside the subscribe button to get notified as and when I post new videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, keep reading, keep watching, and add melodrama to your life.